I am on Patreon, and Patreon is a platform where I will upload interesting videos where you can learn astrology. Connect with me on Patreon. Much more deep insights on Vedic astrology and lot more secrets will be shared there. Hello Seekers, welcome to Punneit Astrology's Hiranyahasta channel, your one-stop destination for Vedic astrology and much more. Continuing with the series of planets 8th from the moon, let's discuss what happens when Saturn goes 8th from the moon. Now, a lot of people can understand this as Ashtram. So, when Saturn is behind the moon, on the moon, and ahead of the moon, that means second house from the moon, this is called Sadesati. But there are two other placements where Saturn is 4th from the moon or 8th from the moon, and these two positions are called Dhaya. Dhaya means dhai. Dhaya word comes from the word dhai, which in Hindi means 2.5. So, which says one phase of Saturn, which is of 2.5 years, but at a point where it is 8th from the moon. Now, I discussed that 8th house is the house of, it's a basically blind spot, a house that moon really don't like. And Saturn is a planet that constantly gives trouble to the mind. Saturn is discipline, Saturn is rule, Saturn is stagnancy, Saturn is something that is mundane, something that is boring, something that is monotonous, something that requires a lot of efforts, something that is not charming, something that is not pleasing, something that is also decay. Moon is freshness, freshness of flowers. Saturn is the death and the decay. Moon likes youthfulness. Saturn is Kala, it is old. Moon wants to explore new things. Saturn says go with experience. So you can see that the moon and Saturn are not really the compatible energies. That is why when Saturn and moon comes in certain placements, we say Sadesati or Dhaya, or when it comes together, we say it's a Vishyog. So what happens when such Saturn, the planet which is experience and the kingmaker basically, goes 8th from the moon? It becomes very difficult for the mind to comprehend where the issues are coming from. Saturn is, if it's a problem, the problem is in the blind spot with respect to your mind, and you really cannot comprehend the source of the problem. So if you cannot locate the source, you will not be able to locate the direction as well as the intensity of the problem, and then you won't be able to figure out the solution to the problem. So that becomes a challenge here. Let's understand that in detail, what happens when Saturn goes 8th from the moon. But before that, do not forget to subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon, and don't miss another update. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me there. If you want to take my consultations, you can go to my website hiranyahasta.com, and in that the page is called Consult with Puneet page. You can go there, explore the options, or you can drop us an email. Also, if you want to book a 300 plus pages Kundali PDF report, which you have not booked before, then you can book that. That's a comprehensive report that gives you great insights about your life. It's a system generated 300 plus pages, which also gives you 10 plus years of your life as a guidance, your yoga, your Sadesati, duration, Mahadasha, everything in detail, as well as some remedial suggestions. So you can check that out. The link is in the description box below. Also, I have introduced another option called Astro PDF report, where not only you will get the PDF report, but also you are going to get one PDF with remedies of your horoscope, catered to your horoscope, which will be written by me. So you can check that out. That option is available on the website. Let's start the analysis of Ashtram Dhaya. When a planet goes 8th from the moon, it goes in the blind spot. We discussed in the previous video what happens when Venus goes 8th from the moon. But now when Saturn goes 8th from the moon, in a way, mind imagines that there is no rule and regulation. And the moment you want to walk into a life path which is more to do with rules and regulation, basically almost everything, and you want to do things in a certain way, things don't happen the way you plan. And Saturn starts troubling you. Saturn starts troubling you from areas which you cannot imagine. Now, think like this. You don't know where the problem can come from, so you're always anticipating. And this anticipation of problem can give you anxiety, can make you live your life in fear, or even can make you extremely fearless, and you can be somebody who is bungee jumping, skydiving, and you want to live your life the way you want. In either of the cases, it can take you to the extremes, depending on the position of Moon, the position of Jupiter, how bad the Saturn is. Obviously, it's not same for everybody. In some cases, it can be making a person go crazy, get really anxious. In other cases, it can make a person someone who is expert in particular subject, who has done a lot of research, and it can make you a scientist. 8th house is the house of occult and research. So Saturn in the 8th house can trigger the interest in these fields. Now Saturn, when it is in the 8th house, will aspect 3 houses. First, it will aspect the 10th house. How? Saturn from the 8th house will have a Vakra Drishti on the 10th house, which means it makes your career unstable. So do write that your experience in the comment section. If you have Saturn 8th from the Moon in the D1 chart only, not in the D9, in the D1 chart, and you have experienced high level of changes in your career. Sometimes you may change domain, sometimes you may change frequent jobs, or sometimes you may find it difficult to sustain the job, or even when you are in one job for 10 years, you want to give an interview, you don't get the job. So in order to take the jump, in order to take the switch, you will have to apply a lot of pressure. You will have to put in all your experience and research, and that can happen with Saturn 8th from the Moon. Now Saturn also aspects the 2nd house. 8th house is also the house of inheritance. 8th house is also the house of other people's money. So you can naturally see that your money might get stuck. If you have a Saturn 8th from the Moon, do not go into the lending business. On the other hand, management of other people's fund, if you are in a job, say you are an asset manager, it can work well. Jobs that require a lot of research, that needs a lot of data analysis, will work wonderfully for you. And then Saturn aspects the 2nd house, house of finances, from the 8th house, which means you might always feel the need of saving money. You might always feel the need of saving yourself from a financial disaster. Such people may also have challenges in their family, because 2nd house is the house of family. You may be either very rigid in your value system, or you may ignore your family value system and absorb a completely different, a new value system. Totally depend upon the position of Moon, and if Rahu is influencing either the Saturn or the Moon. In many cases, this can make you tantric, this can make you go into the path of Aghora, again if Ketu influences the Moon. Then Saturn has an aspect on the 5th house. So Moon loves the 2nd house and the 5th house a lot. Why? Because first of all, mind loves security, and who does not love good quality food? Who does not love affection in life? So 2nd and 5th are 2 very important houses for the Moon, and Saturn aspects both of them. Therefore, it has the potential to make your experience of existence go very, very bad and distasteful. That is why you should not and never try to enrage this Saturn through bad karma. Also, this means that you might have troublesome relationship with your in-laws. You might find it difficult to manage your finances after marriage, because Saturn makes the 8th house quite heavy. What should you do? First of all, never go in negative tantra. Don't try to invoke the Ouija board or something of that sort. That's not for you. However the calling may be, unless a guru advises something, it is not for you. Second thing, praying to Bhagwan Mahashiva by chanting Mahamrityunjay mantra or simply Om Namah Shivaya, and doing Rudra Abhishekam is going to be a very, very good remedy. This video should come close to the Shivratri of 2025, and which can be a very good day to start your practice of Om Namah Shivaya. Doing Rudra Abhishekam is also a very good remedy. The Rudra Abhishekam of Mahashiva is also a very, very positive way of managing Saturn 8th from the Moon. Another thing is, this can create secret desires, this can create deep-seated trauma. So healing and bringing your inner child out is absolutely necessary for you. However harsh or cruel the world may be, do not let that inner child die. Always Be happy in your own presence, in your own present moment, and don't worry about the past or the future. When Saturn is in the 8th house, this is the time to research. Say for example, if you have Leo moon sign, then from 30th of March, you will start Ashtamdhaya. That's in transit. So it will last for 2.5 years. If you are born with Saturn 8th from the moon, then this is going to last you for this entire lifetime. So can you ignore this? No. So what should you do? Make the best use of it. Focus on research. Pick up a subject in your life and go all out on that subject. It does not matter what the subject is, it can be of your choosing. And don't run after insecurities, don't take decisions. You may end up taking 50 insurance policies because you are scared. Fear can destroy you. Fear is your biggest enemy. So absorb that fear and pray to Kala Bhairava. Praying to Bhagwan Bhairav can be a very, very effective remedy, and just surrendering to the Bhairava itself takes you away from the fear. I hope this video gives you some insight about Saturn being 8th from the moon. Do give your comments, do give your suggestions, and also about your experience if you have Saturn 8th from the moon and how effective the prayers related to Bhagwan Shiva is for you, or if you are suffering fear, anxiety and depression. Do write that, and maybe this community will help you share your heart out, and let's not judge anyone with their comments. Let's just give a safe space for you to express. Thank you.